If there's one celebrity face that's recognizable all over the United States, it's Ellen DeGeneres. This 61-year-old comedian, television host, actress, writer, producer, and LGBT activist has been in the public eye for around 30 years and is absolutely one of our favorite household names. She's got the salary to match, but she's determined to do good with her money. Stick around until the end to hear about all the millions that she's given to charity. Before we wow you with this celebrity's generosity, make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Richest, and join our notification squad. Now let's get into how Ellen spends her millions. With more awards to her name than many other celebrities, it's clear that Ellen is doing something right. She's spread her wings across multiple industries over the years, ensuring that she's taking home a healthy salary each year, safe in the knowledge that she's also helping those around her. It's obvious that Ellen is an incredibly kind soul, and she's also a pretty rich one at that. Ellen's current net worth is thought to be in the region of around $400 million. Her annual salary is around $75 million, and that's before we take into account all of her varying side hustles. She's thought to be the 15th highest paid entertainer in the world according to Forbes, and she's also the 50th most powerful woman in the world. She has millions of followers on her social media channels, and she's the 7th most followed person on Twitter and the 28th most followed on Instagram. She's also been nominated for and received more awards than we could ever go through, but we'll give you an idea by name-dropping just a couple. She's won awards everywhere from the Emmy Awards, the Golden Globes, the Grammy Awards, and the People's Choice Awards. Impressed yet? But before we dig a little deeper, let's start at the beginning of Ellen's life. Ellen was born on January 26, 1958. We know she definitely does not look her age. She was born and raised in Louisiana to parents who were not well off. As a child, Ellen was carted around from one place to another as her parents couldn't afford to buy a house. They'd rent a place for 2 years before moving on to somewhere new. So the idea of having lots of spare money was completely alien to this celebrity, until she started bringing home the big bucks with all of her business ventures. In fact, we can credit Ellen's early lifestyle for some of her success today. She graduated from high school before starting a degree in communications, but after just one semester, she decided to drop out, instead preferring to start doing some clerical work for a law firm. Around this time, she also worked many other average jobs like waitressing at TGI Fridays and another restaurant. She also worked as a house painter, a hostess, and a bartender in her early years. Throughout these years, she spent her time thinking up comedic situations, which she eventually used at the start of her career. Ellen started performing stand-up comedy in tiny coffee shops and relatively unknown clubs, but she wouldn't stay there for too long. Soon enough, she began to tour all over the nation and was even named America's Funniest Person in 1984. Not bad going for someone who'd only launched her career around 4 years previously. As you probably know, it was from here when Ellen's career started to take off. Over the years, she starred in more movies and TV series than we could ever count, and they're certainly earning her a lot of money. While her first few ventures into the industry didn't quite catapult her into international stardom, they paved the way, giving good experience, so Ellen quickly got the opportunity to rise up through the ranks. Her first movie was called Arduous Moon, and she played herself in this short film. More recently, she's voiced the role of Dory in both Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, and she's starred in many other movies along the way. And when it comes to television, you'd need a lot more time than we've got for this video to give you a breakdown of all the places you could have spotted her over the years. But if we drop names like Saturday Night Live, The Simpsons, The Big Bang Theory, and the 79th Academy Awards, you'll understand the sort of prestige we're talking about. She even worked as a judge on the hit TV show American Idol back in 2009, where she stayed for one season before deciding that it wasn't a good fit for her. And of course, Ellen isn't playing these roles out of the kindness of her heart. She's taking home a healthy package each and every time her voice gets featured somewhere. But you'll know Ellen best for her daytime talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Before this took off, she starred in another, more comedy-focused show simply called Ellen. And keeping with the name, she's also produced and created a variety of other shows like Ellen's Design Challenge, Ellen DeGeneres Here and Now, and Ellen's even bigger, really big show. It's obvious that she knows her hook is in her name, and she's capitalized on that in the best way possible over the course of her career. She has her own record label called 1111 and a production company. But acting, talking, and making jokes aren't the only ways that Ellen's taking home her millions. She also holds a lot of sponsorship deals with various companies across the world. Proving that she's not stuck in a single industry alone, she's worked with everyone from American Express to CoverGirl Cosmetics. She's also got her own line of products on QVC, as well as a partnership with Walmart offering a fashion range. You might not have considered Ellen a typical style icon, but she knows what sells and she's got a great eye for picking out the pieces. Even if she might not choose to wear many of her own clothes, she certainly knows how to promote them to the wider masses. And just before we start telling you what Ellen is doing with all of this money, we should probably mention her most recent venture. You might have heard that Ellen launched a stand-up comedy special on Netflix in December 2018. Now, this was special for a handful of reasons. It was the first time that Ellen had done a stand-up comedy special in 15 years. But more importantly, she also got paid a hefty $20 million for the deal. When you look at how much the top dogs of the industry were prepared to pay for Ellen's features, you'll start to understand just how big this star is in celebrity land. So, now that we've told you exactly how Ellen is making her millions, we can get into the fun part, where and how she's spending them. And while this celebrity grew up poor, she's wasted no time on splashing out on herself and her family and friends to ensure they're all living comfortable lives. We should probably start with Ellen's property collection, or business, which we think we can justify calling it too. Ellen and her wife Portia are incredibly good at buying up properties and selling them for a profit. As Ellen doesn't seem to particularly need this venture in her life for financial purposes, we imagine that it's more for fun than anything else. And she's definitely got the necessary keen eye for detail. In the past, she's disputed the fact that she only buys properties with the intention of selling them on. She told the New York Times in 2014 that each time she buys somewhere new, she thinks, "This is it, I'm never moving." However, she's also said that she likes to get comfortable with a new house to bring out all of its good features and then move on to the next one. It seems that she's lost count of the amount of time she's moved, but Vogue counted up 15 moves in 25 years. So let's not even get started on the fees she must be paying the removals company each time. Some of the properties she spent money on include a Spanish-style estate in Montecito, California, which she purchased in 2017 for $7.2 million and sold a year later for $11 million. There was also the Brody home, which Ellen stayed in for a year and a half. She said that she was completely in love with the 13,500 square foot home, but that it wasn't a forever home. This one was purchased for $40 million and sold for $55 million. There are entire timelines dedicated to Ellen's house flipping ability and also a book published in 2015 called Home. It's clear that money is no object when it comes to upping sticks and moving around the country, and Ellen has spent millions and millions over the years renovating properties across the USA. Most of them have included multiple bedrooms and bathrooms, as well as luxury features like a swimming pool and impressive views. And it's not just the outside of these properties that are fancy. The insides are equally as swish, and that's probably best noted by taking a look at the home spa that Ellen and Portia requested inside their home in Holmby Hills, California back in 2014. Inside the spa, Ellen planned to install a massive 15-foot jacuzzi on the top floor of her 13,400 square foot property. There were also glass walls, a seating area, and an overhead skylight. In total, the cost of building up this incredible spa was around $35,000. And that was after they spent $60,000 remodeling the kitchen, bathroom, and adding a guardhouse. Now, what's missing with this luxury house, you wonder? A luxury car, that's what. And Ellen has quite the collection. In the past, she's been spotted in a Ferrari, California, which can cost upwards of $200,000. She and Portia also own a Porsche Targa 4S, which is upwards of $130,000. And we can't forget the Porsche 911 Carrera S, which is worth around $85,200. And what's the next luxury item that many celebrities decide to fork out for? A private jet. However, you might be surprised to learn that Ellen doesn't actually own one. Sure, she rents them when she needs to get around, but she has a fear of flying and actually doesn't like to spend too much time up in the air. We guess she could buy a jet for the sake of having one, but it seems like this celebrity would rather spend her money on things she'll use, rather than stylish items that are mostly for show. However, renting a private jet doesn't come cheap either, so we're sure Ellen is racking up bills of thousands of dollars each time she charters a private plane for her and her loved ones. And sometimes she'll even hire a plane that's not holding anyone inside of it. To celebrate her 15th anniversary with Portia, Ellen hired a plane to fly by her house with a banner with the number 15 and a heart. Unfortunately, it seems that Ellen had got so caught up with arranging her romantic surprise that she hadn't judged the size of the banner properly, and it couldn't actually be read from down on the ground. But the intention was there, and we're sure it was still worth the money for this celebrity to show some affection to her other half. So now let's get on to some of Ellen's smaller purchases. For a while, this celebrity and her partner ate a vegan diet and spent a lot of time and money promoting the cause. Sure, it's not expensive to pick up a vegan diet, but we imagine Ellen likes her food as fancy as the rest of her life, so we're betting she doesn't hold back when it comes to buying expensive items for the kitchen. Ellen said she went vegan back in 2008 after watching the documentary Earthlings, but nowadays she'll eat a piece of fish or an egg from a friend's chicken occasionally. And Ellen's love for animals can further be seen when visiting her house. She said that she can't imagine going home to a house without animals, and she's certainly got a handful to choose from for a cuddle when she gets back at the end of the day. Ellen and Portia have 3 cats and 3 dogs. The cats are called Charlie, George, and Chairman, and they're all rescues. The dogs are named Wolf, who's a Maltese poodle mix, Mabel, a standard poodle, and a Jack Russell mix named Augie. While the initial cost for her animals was low because they're all rescue pets, the veterinary costs as well as food and water must add up with a growing number of mouths to feed. Ellen and Portia often talk about how much they love their pets, so we feel like any extended costs to look after their furry friends aren't regarded as a problem. If you hadn't noticed by now, Ellen's a very lovable person and likes to show her appreciation for those who help her and others around her. So we can't talk about how she's spending her millions without talking about her charity work. In January 2018, after a Southern California fire burned over 281,000 acres, Ellen and Portia donated around $14,500 in gift cards and appliances to Redlands Fire, one of many fire teams hard at work in the area. She's also raised money to save the elephants. She's teamed up with Walmart to give a whole senior class $1.6 million towards college fees, and she sent hundreds of thousands of dollars to school children across the nation. The list of charities that Ellen has supported is endless. We can also mention military families living in poverty, children's hospitals, homeless people, and children in poverty across the planet. In one instance in February 2018, Ellen even gave away $1 million to the audience of her show. She said, "You are all going to share this gift. It is the biggest gift I have ever given anybody, ever. I hope you continue to pay it forward and share all the good." She really is a beautiful person inside and out. That's all for how Ellen spends her millions. What do you think of this star's spending habits? Were you aware of how much she does for charity? Leave us a comment down below. Thank you for watching and be kind to one another. Bye-bye.